All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Pretty much wanted to do this video, all right. As you can see, I titled it specifically the way I titled it. All right, as we read through this article, we'll get to that section. All right, but hey man, just going to show you, all right, how fast, okay, things are moving towards that setting. Okay, that setting where the new norm is going to be concentration camps, martial law troops on the streets, people having no rights, no freedoms, all right, no ability to be a free thinker, no free speech, none of that. All right, it's either do what you're told, all right, or you're an enemy of the state. And if you're an enemy of the state, you better be on the move, all right, or you're gonna be in a FEMA camp or a prison camp or whatever you want to call it, or dead. All right. Now I'm going to read this, and, as we've been telling you, okay, our elders and apostles, all down to us, have been telling you for years, okay, that these things were going to take place. And literally, what we've been telling you is what's happening. Okay, so let's read this. It says, Victoria's creeping totalitarianism is based on wild overreaction to COVID, and the rest of the world is going down the same path. And that's what we try to emphasize, is that, yes, it might be happening in a specific area, but that does not mean, okay, that everybody else is safe. All right, this thing is contagious. Okay, just like if you set a fire in one area, all right, of a forest, it spreads overall. And we're gonna read it. So it says, Melbourne residents are prisoners in their city, risking indefinite detention for pre-crime, and even having their kids taken based on COVID statistics that are often inaccurate. How long before this spreads elsewhere? Okay, in Melbourne, they're doing that in the name of COVID. Okay, now here, specifically talking about Babylon or America, right now you have these riots, civil unrest. But don't forget, COVID. The way they set up the coronavirus, it wasn't just a one country or one area attack. This virus is around the whole world. So if these people in Melbourne are being put under these conditions, okay, because of coronavirus, when that virus and those cases start going up in this place, guess what? You're going to be put under similar, if not worse, okay, conditions. When they start pushing hardcore for that second lockdown, keep in mind what they're doing in Melbourne, okay? Because that's what their second lockdown looks like. But see, in Melbourne, they're not stopping. Okay, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and it's not just there. Okay, it says Americans would be wise to pay attention to what's going on down and under. Okay, be not ignorant. Victorian Premier Dan Andrews has gone on a police state shopping spree to rival the Patriot Act, recently introducing a bill that gives the state government the power to preemptively detain high-risk persons indefinitely in quarantine facilities based on mere suspicion they might not comply with self-isolation orders. That's exactly what we've been telling you. All right, they're going to come into your houses, or they're going to find you wherever you are. They're going to forcibly grab you up, and they're going to take you to quote-unquote quarantine facilities. Whether they call it a FEMA camp or a FEMA shelter or a quarantine shelter or an isolation shelter, it's still the same thing. Okay? And it says what? They can detain you there indefinitely, meaning they do not have to let you out. All right? It says, and this is mere based on suspicion. Okay? Not even based on you doing anything. They can arrest you preemptively before you've even done anything. If they suspect that you're gonna do it, they have the right to come and do this. This is the bill that they're introducing. It says this is being justified using COVID-19 stats that even the fear porn loving media establishment has acknowledged are probably very much inflated, based on a test whose creator was reportedly horrified by the thought of using it to diagnose viral infection. Now, this is what people thought would happen the first wave. Okay, and they played it smooth because people thought this would happen. They waited and waited and waited. It didn't happen. They let things open again. They let people out again. People let their guard down. Okay, people let their guard down. So now we're warning them about a second wave, but you know what they're saying in their mind? oh, well, you said the same thing about the first wave and it wasn't that bad. All we had to do was stay home. Guess what? When this second wave comes, when this second lockdown comes, winter time, you're going to have a very hard time if you want to fight back against them doing so. Especially for those who don't have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai with you. You are going to have a very, very hard time doing so, man, because it's winter. They are prepared for this. They have the gear. They have the trucks. They have the guns. They have the troops. Okay? What do you have? Nothing. Okay? If you don't have the spirit and power of the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahushai with you, you have nothing. All right? You got to understand that. Yes, we're going to get the kingdom. Yes, we're going to get out of here. But this is a step that needs to be taken before we can move closer, all right, to our salvation. So this is something that is going to happen. Okay? This is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. And it will be a time like never before. You will see things that you never thought were possible. You will go through things that you never thought were possible. You will hope and pray that you could go back in time and that you wouldn't have to go through Jacob's trouble. Okay? But this is a part of it, man. And whether you like it or not, time is pushing all of us straight into it. So you either prepared, you either ready, or you not. You either going to make it through or you're not. Okay? So it says, yet the same media establishment has embraced Andrew's totalitarian lockdown as a model the U.S. should adopt. Okay? Don't think just because it's over there and it hasn't happened here yet that it's not going to happen. It's going to be much worse over here because they're going to have more justification. Okay? People out here rioting. People are man, let Trump win that second round, man. Or let him at least say that he's staying in office and he's not leaving office. See what happens, man. See how quick this place is going to turn into a bloodbath, man. It says disaster for democracy. Sounding more like a cartoon villain than a politician, Andrews earlier this week warned Melbourne residents that the odds are very poor they might escape the ring of steel. You hear that? You trapped in a ring of steel. It says his government has constructed around the city, with the rest of the state's lockdown loosening a bit on Thursday. Melbournians still under the stricter regulations are threatened with $5,000 fines if they try to flee to saner climes. You try to leave this jurisdiction, all right, where you're subject to these laws and regulations, we're gonna fine you $5,000, and you better not let them catch you trying to leave, because the second they catch you outside, they're asking, "What are you doing now?" You know, you already know they're gonna have these checkpoints. Where do you think you're going? What you think we're gonna let you leave this area so you can go somewhere? No, sweetie, turn around. Matter of fact, since you're already here, we'll just escort you to a nice quarantine center, because now we know that you're one of those kind of people. All right. The scriptures talk about what? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay. It says, and if the thought of being preemptively detained for months for being conspiracy theorists doesn't scare residents away from the thought crime, that's a term that was used in the movie and in the book 1984. George Orwell's 1984. If you even think of something that is against what they're promoting or what they're saying, you're a thought criminal, and that is a thought crime. So it says, if that's not enough, right, the provision of the ominous bill that allows the government to remove children from their parents for up to 30 months. Okay, that's over 2 years. All right. They can take your children from you for up to 30 months. There's 12 months in 1 year. 12 times 2 is 24. So that's over 2 years. So they're saying, if you're not scared with their bill that they're introducing to preemptively detain conspiracy theorists, which they can call anybody a conspiracy theorist, if you believe something that they're not pushing, and it's against what they're pushing, it's against their agenda, you can be deemed a conspiracy theorist. That means they can rightfully, in their eyes, detain you indefinitely. What do you think they're going to do to you in those detention centers? Okay? They said if that doesn't scare you, all right, there's a bill that allows, All right, this says what? The provision of the omnibus bill. Okay, I said ominous. Omnibus bill that allows the government to remove children from their parents for up to 30 months certainly will. This bill passed Victoria's lower house last week. They're going to separate you. They're going to take, we've been telling you this, man. They're going to separate you from your wife. They're going to separate you from your mom. They're going to separate you from your child, from your uncle, from your brother, from your friend. And they're going to cast you into a FEMA camp, or they're going to execute your ass. Okay? If you don't have the Spirit of the Lord, you will get caught up in this, and there will be no escape for you. This is reality. This is what they're doing. It's not a fable. It's not something you can turn around and say, oh, you guys are crazy. That's not in the Bible. You guys are just making it up. Well, it's happening. Okay? And if you want to wait till it gets here before you get right, you're going to get caught up in it, man. You see, so while this is happening, what are our people doing? Partying, joking. Oh, getting ready for this lockdown to, pass away fully so that they can go back to their normal lives. You got another thing coming. It says Victoria declared a state of disaster on August 2nd with 123 coronavirus deaths across the state over the entire course of the pandemic, citing a sudden, inexplicable spike in case numbers in its decision to lock public housing residents in their apartments. Okay, and send military service members from door to door to ensure citizens were obeying. So you still think we're making this up? All right, they locked you in your apartment. You can't leave your apartment, and they're sending not doctors, not scientists, military service members going door to door, and the chip ain't even come out yet. The chip ain't even come out yet, and this is what they're doing. So by the time the chip comes out, this system is going to be set. It's going to be ready. It's going to make it very, very, very hard for you to say no, if you can even say that. Okay? So if the military can come door to door to ensure, and of course they're going to be able to come inside. So if they can come door to door to ensure that you're obeying, you think they can't come door to door to remove you from your house? Military, they come with guns, they come with troops, they come with numbers. So if you think you about to be G.I. Joe because you think you so strong and I bench press 3 plates and I'll mess you up, you try to touch me, you ain't doing a damn thing, bro. It says video of police dragging a pregnant woman out of her home for merely promoting an anti-lockdown protest in her small town in solidarity with Melbourne residents triggered international outrage. Now, this is showing you that what? They are not going to regard, okay, anybody, man. They're not going to care whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're pregnant, whether they don't care. All right? This is a part of their agenda. So it says, and the economic and psychological condition of people there has deteriorated rapidly over the past 2 months. Nor has it been just mental health that has suffered under dictator Dan's lockdown. Okay? Coronavirus deaths. So the coronavirus is what has led the world into a dictatorship, man. Forget democracy. Forget all of that. We're moving into dictatorship, man. And that is martial law. Okay? You do as you're told. We're not voting. We're not asking you what you want. We're telling you. It's orders. It's no more consent. Now it's conquest. All right, that's why it tells you in Revelation 12:12 that they're going to come down with great wrath. They were just waiting for the justification. Okay? It says coronavirus deaths have actually soared from 123 when the lockdown was imposed on August 2nd to a whopping 773 as of Wednesday. And if you think this lockdown is about saving lives, you got it twisted, man. You got it completely opposite. This lockdown is a power grab, all right, into taking lives. It says, of course, whopping is relatively given the tens of thousands of people supposedly infected. One might expect considerably more deaths, at least until one recalls that 90% of cases diagnosed via PCR tests likely carried too little virus in their systems to experience any symptoms or infect others. While it's good news for all Australians who won't die of COVID-19, it's bad news for those now locked in their homes because of those inaccurate numbers. So they got false positives, but do they care? No. It says, even setting aside the false positives, the terrifying computer models that inspired so many countries and states to lock down have long since been exposed as flawed, but yet they're still using it. However, the policies they inspired have not been re-examined. Given the enormous collateral damage that comes from shutting down a country's economy, you best expect that as well. So all of this is happening and the economy is collapsing, okay? And there's food shortages. So now everything is being rationed, okay? If you want something, you have to comply with them. You want to be a rebel? You want to be off the grid? How are you going to get food? You know? It's gonna be straight hell on these streets, man. Very, very soon. It says statisticians warned months ago that more Australians would die of suicide than from the virus by a factor of 10, with a significant portion of those deaths from young people. While UK and US medical experts have warned the shutdowns are killing more than the virus they're meant to stop, there is no excuse for locking up young and healthy in order to protect the elderly. The fact that those same elderly are more likely to die of non-COVID-19 causes when kept in social isolation only adds insult to injury. And things don't add up, but it's too late now, isn't it? And that's why they're throwing out all these different, now they want to do they want to charge officers, or they want to talk about Breonna Taylor's stuff. It's all to throw it out there. And by the time that you realize what's really going on with this lockdown, you're already in it, okay? You're walking to their tune. You're walking right into the path that they want you to walk in. It says, no one wants to admit they've made a mistake. Premier Andrews, is being praised by the international media for seizing even more powers, and plenty of U.S. and U.K. leaders are eager to follow in his footsteps, all right? And it's coming. You're going to say that we told you so, but that's not going to save you. Oh, you guys were right. That's not going to save you. You were right. Okay, we knew we were right. But now what? Okay, all the scoffing and all the scorning and the this and the that and the if and the but and the who and the what, that's not going to save you from this, man. When they grab you by the hair and they're dragging you on the street, or about to throw you in the back of a van, all right, and you getting out in shackles, all right, or you getting out detained in an area you don't know where, you don't know what state you're in, you don't know where you located, you just there. This is your new home. Food is horrible, women getting raped, okay, people getting tortured, okay. So it's not gonna end well, man. It's not gonna end well for a lot of you, man. And the whole reason the Lord has set this up is to judge you people, man. Okay? It's not just to scare you like we always say. The Lord is behind all of this, man. And if you're not of his elect, well, guess what? This is for your destruction. So you can expect them to go all the way with it. All right? It says, rarely is there an attempt to correct bogus statistics, despite widespread discoveries of fraudulent or simply incompetent record keeping in the US and UK. Even the understanding that most forms of COVID-19 testing are wildly inaccurate has done nothing to slow the enthusiasm of forcing it down a population's throat. All right. It says, and Andrews is far from the only leader inflicting what can only be deemed or termed cruel psychological experiments on his people under the guise of a virus response. Whether it's New Zealand's pledge to lock up everyone who tests positive and their family members in quarantine facilities. Did we not tell you that? It says Scottish Foreign Minister Nicola Sturgeon's ban on household visits. You can't visit anybody that's not in your household. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti's threat to shut off water to homes and businesses that host parties, or the U.S. state governors who demanded nursing homes to accept COVID-19 positive patients despite the risk to their charges. It seems for all the world that every wannabe dictator in the English-speaking democracies is racing to see who can cross the totalitarian finish line first, because they will cross it, and you will not be able to do anything about it. It says, while we look on in horror at what's going on in Victoria, we must do what we can to halt the growth of totalitarianism in our own countries. That's not going to happen. Okay, that's not going to happen. Your best bet is to seek ye the Lord while he may be found. This is Jeremiah 22:10. Weep ye not for the dead, neither bemoan him, but weep sore for him that goeth away, for he shall return no more, nor see his native country. So when they grab your asses, man, you ain't coming back, lest the Lord have mercy on you and deliver you out of their hands, man. You might end up in a FEMA camp or a quarantine center, and the Lord will have a way to deliver you. He might have the guard be extra, nice to you, protect you. He might have an angel break you out. Whatever the case may be, the Lord will deliver the elect, as the scriptures say. The Most High knoweth how to deliver the godly from temptation, man. So fear not if you're doing what you got to do. But if you're not, fear. All right, fear should be the number one thing on your mind. Okay, now this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And when they cast you out of your houses, where do you think they're going to take you, man? How are you going to feel when they're taking your wife away, or they're taking your woman or your daughter or your child away from you, and you can't do anything about it, man? They grab all of you out your houses and they throw you into one van going the opposite direction, all right? And they throw your daughter or your son or your child into another van going the opposite direction. And you're hearing them screaming your name, asking for help, and there's nothing you can do. Okay? What you think that's going to feel like, man? That's not something you want to go through. So you better get right. All right? Then for us, all right, those of you who are doing what you got to do, continue to do it, man. Step it up. Pray to the Lord. Fast. Okay? And beg for that mercy, man, because we are definitely going to need it. But you know what, though? For those that are of the elect, guess what? It's going to be a win-win anyway, because the Lord will not allow them to be able to do this to us, man. Okay? He said he's going to lift up a standard, and he will lift up a standard. Okay? Yes, the enemy is going to come in like a flood. Yes, this looks like a flood. It sounds overwhelming. Okay? But the Lord said a false balance is an abomination unto him. So the bigger they are, the harder they fall. The bigger they come, the higher the standard will be lifted. All right? So we got to have faith in that, okay, and continue to do what we do. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying and informative to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.